at it again. It's the state of football here on this Thursday, September 23rd. All right, staying in a place to be. Rick Saratella, ton of like it is when it comes to the world of football, spanning the globe, searching for talent. It's what we do. Season 2, episode 37, part 296 edition. 4 days away from our 300th episode. What a show on this Thursday. And I got to get your predictions. Good thing I just remembered because it's a Football Friday tomorrow with Lorenz Lineweber. We got the overtime segment with Emmanuel Acho and Big Law. But today we're going to have our good friends from Fit Gamer join us at the overtime segment. Mike Anderson. I'm excited to chop it up, talk some esports in our overtime segment. Of course, Conference 1 launching October 5th. This is your commissioner reporting. Neil Stratton, founder of InsideTheLeague.com, will join us at about 9:40 a.m. Eastern. We'll also have Michael Langley, a newly certified NFLPA agent, founder of 8760 Sports Management. He will join us around 9:30 a.m. and give us some feedback on what that NFLPA agent exam was like. He just took it and passed. Very difficult test. I'm hearing 60% failed. So that will be great insight there. But we do it like we do it every Thursday. Really, I no disrespect to my other co-hosts throughout the week, but my favorite day of the week because we get to chop it up with Dane Vandernat, the director of college recruiting for the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. He joins us each and every Thursday right here on the State of Football, part of the Fan Nation Network on Sports Illustrated. And there he is. If he's got a special glow about him, it's a new addition to the familia. Dane, congrats on the air to the little one. I know Rudy's doing well, resting up, and the Vandernat family is +1 on the guest list now.
Yeah, that's right. It's not just the light to my right that's giving me the glow here, but hey, Rick, right after our show on Thursday, man, I got the 911 text of get the bag ready. We're going to the hospital. So, last Thursday, I got to welcome son Jackson to the world, and here we are, man. It was a sleepless week later.
That's right. You were on the show right here, and you said, I have a doctor's appointment. I got to go early anyway. I said not even like an hour later, he's sending me the picture. Hey, there's Jackson. And I said, well, I know he had a doctor's appointment. He didn't tell me that the baby was bursting. And here he is breaking down prospects with us here on the State of Football, part of the Fan Nation Network on Sports Illustrated. And so we do it every week. We take a look at the week that was. We talk about some players that kind of stood out to us at the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl coming January at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And then we look ahead at some of the key matchups. Now, we're also highlighting players on the website that I'll get to later on, but we want to get inside the brain of Dane Vandernat, the former pro personnel director for the Oakland Raiders, of course, spending about a decade or so with that great organization and learning under some of the legends in the game, such as Al Davis. So let's dive into it, Dane. It was another exciting week. I love college football because it's like every week's a playoff matchup, and you see who's rising, who's sliding in the top 25 polls, but also on our draft board and the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl big board. There's a lot of risers, a lot of surprisers each week. I got my head on the swivel trying to pay attention and keep up with who's standing out. So who stood out in Dane Vandernat's opinion this past weekend?
Yeah, well, first of all, appreciate everyone for, sending me the congrats. See Tom's down there and Lorenz and Brian in the chats. Appreciate you guys. And, really very much endearing to see all the support we've received from everybody. But, Rick, this week, obviously, we had some marquee games. We're still early in the season, so not quite in conference schedule yet for a lot of these teams. But, some of the guys that stood out, I thought we did have some big time matchups. And hey, like you're saying, Rick, every week is a playoff. So if you want to make it to one of those premier bowl games, if you want to make it to the college football playoffs, you got to take every opponent seriously. And I thought, starting out, we had the marquee matchup, if you will, of week 3 in Penn State Auburn. Over there for me, Jaquan Brisker again for the second time in 3 weeks making big time plays in big time moments, really sealing the victory for Penn State. For Auburn, it was their last, their last gasp. It was a fourth down attempt that he was able to break up Bo Nix's pass and seal the victory for the Nittany Lions. Obviously, we saw him come away with the walk-off interception against Wisconsin earlier in the season. So Jaquan Brisker, super senior returner for Penn State, continuing to make plays and really seal the victory here. You want me to just keep rolling, Rick, or you want
No,
me to
I'm sorry, Dan. I got so ahead of myself. I saw a full cup of coffee. I got excited here. I was making notes though, because as you were talking about Jaquan Brisker from Penn State, I noted that he kind of reminds me of Sean Bradley out of Temple a couple of years ago in a way where he constantly comes up with these clutch plays, these game-sealing turnovers, momentum-changing swings. He's been doing this now for a few seasons, and I like that kind of party. Anytime a guy can come up clutch, come up big, and big-time players come up in big-time situations, there's a lot of clout in my book when it comes to evaluating players and having that knack and the propensity to make big plays, and that's what I love about Jaquan Brisker.
No question. You know what? It's funny because one of the anomalies in scouting, as you know, Rick, it's sometimes on defense, the ball just finds you. Other time, the ball doesn't find you at all. And it can be frustrating because as an evaluator, you want to, speak to a player's ball skills or his ability to, to perform under certain situations. And sometimes you just never have that data. You just never have that game film that you can go back and say, hey, look, against this player on this date, he made a great play in this situation. For Jaquan Brisker, now that's two big time moments when the game was on the line that he was able to, as I mentioned a minute ago, the ball found him, but he made a play on the ball in order to come away. And as you're saying, and the old expression goes, big time players make big time plays in big time games. So far, Jaquan Brisker's having a big time season. Anxious to continue to watch him. But my next guy, another big play, Cincinnati wide receiver Alec Pierce. In a tightly fought game with Indiana last Saturday, Pierce helped the Bearcats pull away from the Hoosiers with a beautiful high point down the sideline for a fourth quarter touchdown. Really using that long body to go up and attack that ball in the air, go get the football. And at 6'3", 208 with almost 9-inch hands and over 32.25-inch arms, we're growing accustomed to seeing Alec Pierce make these types of plays, use his frame. Ended up leading the Bearcats, Rick, on Saturday with 5 receptions for 86 yards and this touchdown I'm talking about.
This Cincinnati schedule, there's no let up. I mean, they got Notre Dame this upcoming week, so he's going to have an opportunity, this young man, Alex Pierce, to really make a name for himself. And Desmond Ridder, another player that the NFL is keeping tabs on there, as well as Cincinnati continues to stay in the mix, number 8 in the nation, trying to climb up in those college football polls. All right, we're talking NFL, PA, Collegiate Bowl standouts from the college football weekend that was. Dane Vandernat, Director of College Recruiting, former pro personnel of the Oakland Raiders. Nobody breaks it down better than Dane. So who else you got for us here?
I'm sticking a wide receiver, one of my favorite guys from studying really the last few years, and Reggie Roberson Jr. from Southern Methodist University. He was Johnny on the spot Saturday, Rick, versus a tough Louisiana Tech team and sealed the victory with that deflection off that last gas Hail Mary. Obviously, as I said, he's been a favorite of our games, and he's no stranger to the end zone, scored 18 touchdowns entering the season, but this ended up being his first of the year. Reggie Roberson's an explosive wide receiver. I think he's got outside and slot capability. Really impressive. He's made a lot of big-time plays for SMU, and anxious to continue to watch him score a lot more touchdowns as I expect this upcoming season. And
yeah, I know he's been.
He had I think, a 70-yard and an 85-yard touchdown in this game that we're seeing from last season.
Yeah, he's kind of been a favorite of yours now. I know you were kind of pumping him up last year. And so the SMU, the Mustangs always come up with these playmaker types, and it seems like they have one every year. Last year was the H-back tight end playmaker they had, and then this year Reggie Roberson, who may have been a little bit surprising to some that he returned back for another season. I think another one of these super seniors. So, Dan, I know you could talk prospects for days. You got anybody else for us?
Yeah, I got two more for you, and I'll go over to quarterback here, and a quarterback that plays like a fullback sometimes when you watch him play, and that's East Carolina quarterback Holton. Forgive me if I butcher his last name, but I think Ehlers. But a prolific southpaw over there for the Pirates, and in a shootout with 80 combined points on Saturday. He not only threw for 368, Rick, and 2 touchdowns, but he also rushed for a 5-yard score, and he caught on a trick play a 27-yard touchdown, showing off some athleticism. Late in the fourth quarter, helped close the gap and bring ECU back for a big victory against the Thundering Herd. But you watch Holton Ehlers play, man, I love it. He drops the shoulder on would-be tacklers. He's a big man in today's game when you've got a lot of small quarterbacks, but he's got that old prototypical NFL size, and he's really been a fun player to watch the last couple of years.
He has. He's got a big arm, and he's a lefty now, so it's, that little bit release, that spin on the ball, a little bit different, but he's got great poise, tremendous poise in the pocket. He's been in some big-time moments. I just want to see him be a little bit more consistent, but Holton Ehlers, ECU, I'm hoping to get down there and see him at some point this season because he flashes now. And you say, wait a second. This guy's got some pro potential, and he's just got to do it on a more consistent basis. But I agree. He's kind of caught my attention on several occasions. So we continue to monitor Holton Ehlers in this senior quarterback class, which really is there for the taking. I think there's going to be a lot of moving and shaking on this senior quarterback big board, and Holton Ehlers could kind of disrupt that a little bit. All right, Dan, you said you got one more, breaking it down, the standouts from the past college football weekend. Who you got?
And I got to go back over to defense. Linebacker really jumped off the tape yesterday. I tweeted about it, but Micah Baskerville for LSU. They've got some studs, as we know, every year annually with the Tigers defense. But he really showed out, I thought, against Central Michigan last week. And you sit there and say, yeah, it's Central Michigan. But Central Michigan has a couple players that the NFLPA and the NFL scouts are keeping their eyes on. And you couldn't help but notice Micah in this one. Instincts, the athleticism, the play strength, made tackles all over the field, and especially in the backfield. He had consecutive plays, Rick. The first one where he sorts through 2 blockers, makes a tackle on the running back in the backfield on a screen pass. Next play, reads the snap right off. It beats the blocker to the edge and tackles the running back again for another loss. I'll tell you what, man, he's an impressive linebacker to watch. Built like that modern day NFL linebacker. Really impressive, really intriguing. Again, as we get into the conference schedules, we'll obviously see, some more elite competition. And I think Micah will continue to take off, and he'll match that intensity, if you will.
Yeah, I see him listed there, 6'2", 223, which, kind of is that modern day linebacker frame. But I don't know, Baskerville, we got to get you over here to the Jersey Shore, get a couple Italian meals in you, maybe put 5-8 pounds on you here on that frame. But, LSU, again, notoriously known for producing some edge rushers there. So good stuff from Dane Vandernat. If you want more notable players from the past weekend, go to collegiate.nflpa.com. We highlighted some players earlier this week that you can read up on. Cole Kelly, the Southeastern Louisiana gunslinger, transfer from Arkansas, lighting it up. 444. That was how many passing yards he had against Central Connecticut State, and he was the 2020 Walter Payton Award winner. So he continues to turn some heads here at the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. David Bailey, a guy that caught my attention a couple years back at Boston College when he was splitting time with A.J. Dillon. Dillon banged up at times for the Eagles there, and Bailey stepped in and did a tremendous job in spurts. Now he goes over to Colorado State, follows his former head coach Steve Adazio, and he's been providing a great dual threat capability out of the backfield there for the Rams as a runner, a pass catcher. He's a tough, hard-nosed runner, somebody to keep an eye on, that David Bailey. And then we've been talking about Appalachian State, their dynamic wide receiver duo of Corey Sutton, Thomas Hennigan. You can read up more over on the website, collegiate.nflpa ball. And I don't want to forget about the defense. Quinterio Cole out of Louisville making some big plays. Alonzo Adai, the West Virginia corner or defensive back. I saw Ronnie Lott showing him some love this past week, the Lott Player of the Week award winner. And then Ethan Radke. Hey, man, not only do I got love for the small school, I got love for the special teams. Ethan Radke, 76 career field goals, the FCS all-time record holder now with his eyes on the prize. Zane Gonzalez, the all-time NCAA record holder, I think 95 career field goals. Ethan Radke, the James Madison Dukes, now within striking distance. Any thoughts there, Dane, before we transition to some matchups this upcoming weekend?
No, hey, there's always great information on the website that you can find from both Rick, I, and the team. So please go give us a follow, give us a read. Always try to be transparent, as Rick likes to say, and that we are. We're always here to help. We just want to help people make informed decisions that are hopefully going to help them figure out what's best for their program and, their individual players. So go give us a read on the website, find out some guys that stand out to us, and obviously tune in every Thursday here, Rick.
Absolutely. You'll get the latest and the greatest from our great scouting department and staff for the upcoming NFLPA Collegiate Bowl coming up in January here at the granddaddy of them all, Rose Bowl, Pasadena. I've been going back to Cali quite often here over this last couple year or two, working with the Hub football folks. And before we get into the upcoming matchups, I see there could be some breaking news here in the chat room. So I will say I got confirmation from Tom Goodhines yesterday that as of last night, we have at least 5 NFL teams confirmed, another 4 or 5 CFL teams confirmed. I know the USFL is confirmed. We got the men's lacrosse or rugby team coming back out, a couple indoor teams hanging out, but I think there's going to be about a dozen scouts confirmed. I expect some more to trickle in. So hubfootball.com. Do we have the breaking news? Reuben Foster. Wow. He's now added to the September 29th workout. That's great news. Reuben Foster, he'll join Brandon Marshall coming back and making a cameo at the Hub, and Jonathan Cyprien, the safety, looking to get back into the league. So great veteran presence there at the Hub football camp, September 29th. Reuben Foster. Good stuff there, Tom. Really excited about that. This is, I think, the deepest and most talented roster that the Hub football camp has had yet. And you can go to the website up on NFLDraftBible.com. We got the entire, I think that what makes 82 players. But Dane, you saw it, the injury bug already, even at the quarterback position. Andy Dalton is down. A couple other quarterbacks, Tyrod Taylor is down. And, 2 of the quarterbacks, Roland Rivers, who was with the Steelers, and Case Cookus, who was with the Vikings all summer in training camp, also at the Hub. But, I mean, what a great timing here. Week 3, week 4. Teams can now giddy up down to the Hub, find some free agent talent on the scrap heap.
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest, let me just, put on my old pro director perspective. The hardest thing to do is find guys that are in shape, if you will, because as you get further and further away from training camp, now it's guys that, they've been going to LA Fitness for the last, 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever it's been. So, you're always looking for guys that are staying in shape, that are getting active work in. And obviously at some point here, these practice squads, there's going to be a lot of attrition and guys are going to need to get re-signed. So I've always been an advocate for developmental leagues. I've always been an advocate for having alternative places where NFL players can go, stay in shape, be ready, have live looks by NFL scouts. I think it's all terrific, Rick.
Yeah, I think the big thing there, being in shape and then being vaccinated, really finding out, hey, are these guys vaccinated? Because the hub is going to find out and provide that information to the NFL teams, because it's all about increasing your chances of getting an NFL opportunity. That's what the hub football is all about. All right. Great stuff. Dane Vandernat, Director of College Recruiting, former pro personnel director with the Oakland Raiders. Keeping tabs on the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl here as we count you down to January. It's hard to believe October, November, December. We're less than 4 months away from the 10th annual NFLPA Collegiate Bowl game. It'll be the 11th annual event, Dane, and we continue to monitor prospects each and every week. We've got our scouting department on the prowl. They'll be on location across the nation. I'm excited to get back out to the scouting trails here soon. Who is Dane Vandernat going to be watching or keeping an eye on this upcoming weekend?
Well, we'll start up with the Battle of Jack Cohn, if you will, with Wisconsin versus Notre Dame. And per usual, we know that the Badgers have several NFL prospects along their offensive line. And this year it's seniors Logan Bruss and Tyler Beach. And they're going to be going up against Myron Tagovailoa Amosa for Notre Dame, who I thought really flashed last year on tape for the Fighting Irish, and he's continued to impress so far this year. He's more that penetrating three-tech type of player. Anxious to see him go against this offensive line, because you know that not only does Wisconsin have big players who are going to be good pass blockers, but they're also going to run downhill at you, and that's a skill that we need to evaluate as talent evaluators for guys making that transition to the next level. So anxious to see that. Badgers also have tight end Jonathan Ferguson, and we know we'll be seeing him go up against Notre Dame senior safety Houston Griffith, right, Rick? I know everyone wants to talk about Kyle Hamilton, but he's an upperclassman, Rick. So we'll talk about Houston Griffith. We'll talk about some of these other guys, but no, hey, for Wisconsin, Notre Dame, obviously Notre Dame's got some postseason aspirations. They haven't quite played probably to their own expectations yet this season, and Wisconsin will be a great test for them right out the gate here.
And yeah, since you mentioned Hamilton, the safety there, I got vetoed. I got outvoted by my own staff. I checked the NFL Draft Bible Big Board. He's the number one player in the country, according to the NFL Draft Bible scouting department there. So keep an eye on that young man. What else? A lot of prospects in that game. Wisconsin, Notre Dame, definitely one I'm circling on the schedule. You got another one for us, Dane?
Yeah, the old at Jerry's World, the old Southwest Classic, Texas A&M and Arkansas. Aggies may be one of the most talented teams in the country, and Arkansas has been playing some tough-nosed football, getting off to a 3-0 start. Obviously had that big home win over the Longhorns. This will be their first conference game, however, and it'll come against a senior-laden defense for the Aggies, featuring guys like Michael Clemens and Jaden Peavy, Aaron Hansford, Tyree Johnson, Miles Jones, Leon O'Neal. List goes on and on. But obviously Arkansas has some power of their own. We know about their talented linebackers, Rick, and some of the others. But, they return Myron Cunningham at left tackle, who we talked about here before, and running back Treylon Burks, who leads the team in not only rushing and receiving, but also touchdowns. So being anxious to see this matchup of these two old Southwest Conference rivals, Rick.
Yeah, and Bumper Pool is a safety I highlighted a couple weeks ago. He's just a ferocious safety. I love this guy. I love the mentality. Bumper Pool and I have a lot of the same DNA. Like anything we do, we just want to crush.
And I don't know that he would agree with that statement, Rick, but hey, you know what? I think it's great for the show.
Well, Grant Morgan and I have a lot in common too, because we're both lunch bucket guys. We both buckle up and bring our lunch bucket each and every week, and that Grant Morgan just seems to show up. He's a tackle machine now, and he's got some bloodlines. His brother Drew Morgan getting drafted a couple years back, wide receiver with the Dolphins for a little bit. So great stuff. Always a pleasure chopping it up, Dane. Anything else? Did we get it all in here?
No, I've got a couple more for you. Obviously, there's some interesting ones in West Virginia, Oklahoma. Obviously, Mountaineers riding high after a big upset.
I should probably pay attention to the rundown here. Is it in the private? Dane, I'm disrupting his mojo flow, but what a great guy. He's just too kind because I don't ever hit him with a rundown. Then he sends me the rundown. I'm not paying attention. I told you before the show, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here, Dan. I wasn't lying to you, brother. I apologize.
As the great Al Saunders always told me, the great ones adjust, right? So, hey, you know what? Sometimes you just got to make up for it, man. But
that's it, baby.
Hey, you know what? It's what we do this for. And I try to come prepared every week, Rick. That's all I'll say. But hey, for me, Wisconsin or West Virginia, Oklahoma, I want to see the Sooners play a lot better than they did against Nebraska. UCLA, Stanford, the old Californian in me wants to see this one, see which team is for real out of the two. But I'm going to go San Jose State, Western Michigan. Obviously, the unfortunate news for Western Michigan is their head coach recently tested for positive for COVID, and he's going to miss the game this Saturday. But want to see the San Jose State firepower kind of come to life. They squeaked out a low-scoring win over Hawaii last Saturday with seniors Nicholas Starkel at quarterback, Derek Deese Jr. at tight end. They got my man Jack Snyder at left tackle. I want to see these guys dominate on offense and put up some points. They're going to be going against a pass rusher from Western Michigan and Ali Fayed, who was a favorite of ours last year and continues to be on our radar. And then Western's running back, Ladarius Jefferson, scored 2 rushing touchdowns last week, and Western's big upset of Pitt. And, he may be a lot for Kyle Harmon and Kate Hall for San Jose State's defense to handle here.
I like the San Jose State squad, and you mentioned Starkel. Deese, the tight end, is a guy, Derek Deese Jr., who you might remember from the 49ers. So keep an eye on those two. And then you mentioned UCLA versus Stanford. Stanford just whooped up on USC. UCLA had a disappointing loss. How about your guy, though, Jay Kaner? We got to bring it up. I mean, he outduels Dorian Thompson-Robinson last week.
Yeah, it was a fun game to go back and go watch the tape on. I know I highlighted Ronnie Rivers earlier in the week on Twitter, but Jay Kaner continues to put up some prolific numbers and leading this team. You like to see him move around a little bit. He's a shorter quarterback, but he still finds some passing lanes in the pocket and even outside of it. So Fresno State, they're really impressive to watch.
Absolutely. So he leads the nation, I believe, in passing. So Jay Kaner on that NFLPA Collegiate Bowl big board, I would believe the only all-star game that had him on their big board prior to the season. So that's what we do. We unearth the gems. We never leave a stone unturned. We're combing the nation. We're spanning the globe. Hey, if you're draft eligible international prospect, you're eligible too. We'll find you too. So we're working our network. We're finding out who the prospects are we got to go dig into. And we do this each and every Thursday with Dane Vandernat, Director of College Recruiting here at the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. Dane, I think now we're officially done. Any parting shots, final words? We appreciate the time.
No, man, I'm going to go back to sleep now, if you don't mind, Rick, and try and gear up for some exciting matchups tonight with App State. And who are they playing? We got Marshall tonight, man. Should be a good one for both teams. And just anxious, thankful that we got Friday football as well. Keep me occupied while we're sitting up feeding the baby.
Yeah, you'll be catching that probably with one eye open. And we had Cam Chancellor on last week, by the way, with the Huggies Challenge. So make sure you get in on the Huggies and enjoy that new baby of yours, Jackson, and say hello to the family. So we'll be keeping an eye. Marshall, Appalachian State. We talked about that wide receiver dynamic duo. Can't wait. Thank you, Dane.
Thanks, buddy.
There you have it, Dane Vandernat, Director of College Recruiting, NFLPA Collegiate Bowl. Are we taking a quick break here? And we'll come back with Michael Langley, 8760, breaking it down.
At FitGamer, we implement a program. At FitGamer, we implement a program that we've developed.
How has FitGamer changed and impacted Cloud9? I mean, honestly,
Cloud9, North America's best international team, are headed back to Worlds.
the difference between the teams that actually win or lose are the teams that are going to actually have the stamina and still have a sharp mind through that event. Prior to having FitGamer's exercise routines that we've been doing, my players around Game 5 would get tired and lose. What's happened with the training that we've been doing, we are now, when we get to this Game 5 situations, we're the team on stage that has energy, we're the team on stage actually is sharp, and we're the team that's raising the trophies. The FitGamer app helps you not only track on your everyday workouts, but we travel a lot. So while we're traveling, we can kind of pinpoint how our players are doing, how our managers are doing. They can report what their sleep is like, they can report the nutrition, and it gives us the ability to catch patterns that are not good early and address them and fix them. And our training routines, training up along both, has resulted in us lifting trophies at the end of the day. And for me, that's what actually matters.
Back at it again. It's the state of football here on the NFL DraftBible.com, part of the Fan Nation Network on Sports Illustrated. I hear my voice, Samantha, but I see the screen is frozen here on my end. It's season 2, episode 37, part 296 edition. And so did you want to bring me down and pop me back up? Am I flowing? Is the video? So pop me back up. There we go. Are we back at it again?
It doesn't look like it. Maybe I should, on your side, you could roll a commercial.
At FitGamer, we implement a program that we've developed over decades of training, studying, and teaching sports science, and years of working with professional, traditional, and esport athletes. The scheduling and cadence of workouts, yoga, meditation, mental conditioning, nutrition, sleep, and lifestyle activities are based on what we have done with various teams and individuals since 2018. We respect effort. We respect intensity. At FitGamer, what is important is progress and improvement. The FitGamer workouts are designed specifically for cognitive esport athletes, and we understand the pain points of gamers and the need to physically maintain the body and stimulate the brain in order to achieve optimal in-game performance. It is our mission to optimize gaming performance by maximizing human potential, and FitGamer helps us achieve this goal. Come join us.
On the state of football, RIC and a place to be, Rick Saratella. Telling it like it is with the world of football, everything football across the globe. And season 2, episode 37, part 296 edition on this Thursday, September 23rd. Thank you for bearing with us through the technical difficulties here. You saw the FitGamer app promo. And we'll have Mike Anderson later on as we go overtime from FitGamer. We'll also have Neil Stratton from InsideTheLeague.com here in just a second. And we're trying to play catch-up here with Michael Langley, who's been waiting so patiently in the virtual green room, our good friend of 8760sports.com, CEO and founder, and newly certified NFLPA agent. Michael, good morning. Good to see you again.
Morning. Good to see you. How are things?
Doing good here, and I know you're checking in from Arkansas area. Of course, also certified NBA and WNBA agent, now newly certified NFLPA agent. Michael, I know it feels good to hear that. So let's start off there with the agent exam. You got the news this past week. My understanding is from our next guest, Neil Stratton, who will join us here in just a moment, about 60% of participants who took the NFLPA agent exam actually failed the test. You happened to pass the test. Take us through the process. Take us through what you liked, what you didn't like, Michael. How was it really that difficult? Take us behind the scenes with the NFLPA agent exam.
Well, it was the first time that they've ever administered this virtually. So that was the first challenge that comes up as far as the day you take the test. You have to schedule a time, and if you ran into any technical issues, you had really no way to resolve it, and you could potentially fail the test just because there was a technical issue. And that was not something that eased up on the stress. That made things a whole lot worse. If the portions of it that made it challenging and difficult,
Still frozen.
There's so much information that you have to know and have access to before you can get properly prepared. It's not a, hey, I've got this test on Thursday, I'm going to start on Sunday. There's no way to prepare for that. So if you weren't taking your time and being prepared, and I would say they only touched on about 25% of the information that I prepared for. And if, when you have 400 and something pages to deal with, you have a 70 something page outline to go with it that you've worked on to update and take care of, and had the help of some people who were previously agents. If Mook Williams and Neil Stratton hadn't been around, there's no way to pass this for me. It just would have been too much information and an inability to cover it. The problem with any document is we lawyers write it like only lawyers can read it, and that doesn't make it easy for somebody taking a test. It was hard, it was challenging, but I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going to lie, I'm glad only 40% passed. That's a benefit to me. So
I think the NFLPA is happy about that too. So, we're talking to Michael Langley, 8760 Sports, right here on the State of Football, making a State of Football debut, part of the Fan Nation Network on Sports Illustrated. And you mentioned the technical difficulties. There were indeed actually a handful of applicants who were unable to log on, had technical difficulties, therefore could not take the test. And they'll just have to wait again until next year. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But, now that you are this newly certified NFL agent, Michael, you are no stranger to the agent industry, of course, having clients in the NBA and WNBA, but the NFL, a little bit more of a difficult task when you get minted here in, almost October, September. This draft cycle now, there's going to be a lot of difficulties for new agents such as yourself. So what's the approach? What are you hoping to bring to the forefront here? What do you want to get out about 8760?
Oh, well, we're excited to be jumping off into the NFL. We're also not a company that believes this is a sprint. We're going to get approved. We're going to have the number one draft pick in the spring and be moving forward. This is a difficult industry. We are going to make sure that we go out and identify athletes that we can work with to make sure that, and starting this late, you're really starting on the back half of the draft, and to identify some good character guys that are in our geographic footprint that we can potentially help out, get them evaluated, maximize their opportunity, and begin to build this. It's a 5 to 10 year process in our mind. It's not a one and done. I think people who get into this, into the sports world, think that, I'm going to jump out here, I'm going to sign 6 or 8 players in any industry or in any sport, and we're going to be rolling. It doesn't work that way. It's expensive. You have to watch your budgets. The other part of it is if there are some guys out there that are free agents that we can help, we'll step out and help them from a cost perspective. As an agent, that's a better deal. But But in the end, this is about helping people be all that they can be. That's part of that. That's what our agency is about. You want to go play football, you have the talent to be in the NFL. We're going to do everything we can to make the other side of it not your problem. We're going to get you ready. We're going to get you your bills paid. By that, I mean, we're going to actually sit you down and teach you how to pay your bills, learn how to do all the stuff that you need to do so that you can just devote your time to football. And so I think that these small guys, these young guys, they get lost in the numbers when you're with a big agency. And it's a service industry, and the way we win is by having superior service. It's a one. Me. It's a one-to-one connection. It's not a. It's a team effort, but it's still a one-to-one connection.
No, I've had a chance to spend plenty of time talking to you, Mike, and I know I share a lot of your same beliefs, and I love your approach and your philosophy of the family environment. Hey, we're going to sit down at the table. We're going to break bread. We're going to provide you with all the knowledge and surround you with the best industry professionals in order for you to be set up for success off the field while you're taking care of business on the field, like you mentioned. I think I did a pretty good job highlighting the vision and overview. Anything you'd like to inject into that?
I'm going to go back to what you talked about. Our philosophy is what we call the kitchen table. All decisions are made at the kitchen table when you're growing up as your parents and all of that. And instead of trying to clear that kitchen table out and just talk to the player, we want to be a member of that kitchen table where we sit down and we have a conversation with your closest confidants, the people that you rely on the most as a player, get all the input that we can to help make the decisions that we need to make, whether that's where you're going to train, what we're going to ask for in a contract, which companies we want to go with, if there are marketing deals out there. That's the business side of it. The personal side of it is, where do you want to live? Where do you want to, how do we go about buying cars, investing money, loaning money to people you shouldn't loan money to, having advice. And all of that comes in when you have an entire family to work together. And that's our philosophy. We're going to sit at the table.
No, I love it, and I believe in it. So looking forward to seeing where 8760 Sports trends. It's going to be an ascending sports agency. I know you guys are already making moves in the name, image, and likeness arena.
Yep.
And we'll have you back on again here on the State of Football to discuss some of the new developments in that side of the business. And so, Michael, I know we spent quite a bit of time together in Boston, and now we spent some time here on the State of Football, and we will continue to chop it up and have you back, and looking forward to it. It's going to be 8760sports.com. Is the website up and running now?
No, it hits Saturday.
Okay, there you go.
It's Saturday. Sorry about that. We're just, technical glitches. I'm a lawyer. I'm not a technical guy like you are, so I can't handle it.
I don't know if I'd call myself technical, Mike, but hey, every now and then we pull the wool over the eyes. But parting shot, final words for the people here before we let you go. I know you got the Twitter handle too. Is it Michael W. Langley?
Yep, at Michael W. Langley. Come check us out. We're getting more and more active. Can't say enough about what you're doing here at the State of Football. It's fantastic. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to chat with you today, and be on the lookout for us. We're going to be working hard and keeping our name out there, and hopefully building something to last a generation.
Absolutely. We appreciate the time, Michael, and we'll be chatting soon. That's Michael W. Langley, 8760sports.com. Make sure you check out the launch coming up this weekend. It's exciting to get to hear some of the developments and things that 8760 has transpiring. And like I said, we didn't have enough time to cover it all, so we'll have Michael back. And thank you so much, Samantha, behind the scenes, as we got to keep it moving, keep it grooving, and transition.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, we'll see you, Mike.
All right.
And now we're going to just swipe Neil Stratton right into it. InsideTheLeague.com CEO and founder. There he is. Bam! Neil, good morning. How are you today? Thank you for waiting patiently in the virtual green room. And for those of you tuning in, Neil Stratton is the CEO and founder of InsideTheLeague.com. He joins us here each and every Thursday, around 9:40 or so, sometimes 9:45, and today 9:50 as he deals with our technical difficulties on this beautiful Thursday, September 23rd, 2001. Neil, how's it hanging down there in the Houston, Texas area?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It was good to see Michael, part of the ITL family. I appreciated the hat tip from Michael. We're excited about it. Michael and so many others that passed the exam, fewer, I think, than by percentage than there have been in previous seasons. It was a really tough exam this year, but a lot of excitement for Michael and all those people that were able to pass the exam. As far as coming on late, man, listen, I just do whatever Sam tells me, Rick. I mean, I'll come on at, you need me to come on at 6 o'clock tonight. If Sam tells me when to come on, that's when I come on. So whatever. I mean, I'm sure you know the feeling,
Yeah, no, I know it all day long. Tell me about it. So Neil Stratton, Rick Saratella here with you today, and we've been keeping tabs on the BART standings and trying to decipher, hey, who are the best scouts in the business? Who are some of these evaluators behind the scenes that you never hear about, Neil? And you've been doing an awesome job just gathering the votes from around the league. Tell us where are we at with the tally?
Well, Alonzo Highsmith from CA into the lead in the NFC, just kind of edging out Tecumbo Anaconda from the Falcons, who's been really hanging strong over the past couple weeks. Alonzo has polled almost a quarter of all votes. Voters have responded with a vote for him, but Tecumbo's in there. Jeff Ireland not too far behind. It's anybody's race right now. We could still, we're going to take the top 10, but we do have an eye on, just for fun, who's going to have the most votes. So Alonzo's right there in the pole position right now, followed, just one vote behind by Tecumbo. Jeff Ireland has 23. Ted Monago, who at one point, I think in opening week was our leader, is in fourth place, but still holding strong with 21. And then Aaron Heinlein of the Seahawks with 20. It's, again, still 2 Seahawks evaluators among the top 5. I think that's very impressive. Brett Gackley from the Bears is really coming on strong. He's got 19 votes. Could slide into that top 5. We will see what happens over the last week. Tariq Ahmad, who has been right around the lead the whole time as well, has 19. He's tied with Breck. So that's your top 5, plus a couple that are kind of on the fringe. That's in the NFC. As for the AFC, as you're looking there at the graphic, Ed Dodds has pretty consistently been at the top, and he's kind of Alonzo's counterpart on the AFC side, with almost a quarter of all voters naming him as one of their top 10. Matt Winston with the Dolphins, again, another, maybe not on the same executive level as Dodds, but boy, he sure has a lot of respect across the league. About a fifth of all voters casting their lots for him. He's got 23 votes. Terence Gray with the Bills, another one who's strong. He's definitely within striking distance of finishing first, along with Elliott Wolf. And I might add, Elliott and Alonzo were both with the Browns when the Browns were building the team, drafting the team that is now such a strong team and a real contender in the AFC. So hats off to them. Jonathan Stegall from the Jets, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's been a real strong presence all the way through, and continues to at 18 votes. David Blackburn popping into the leader on a leaderboard this week for the first time with 17 votes. And then Matt Turpinning from the Colts also 16. Now the AFC, I think, the vote's been a lot more diverse. There's been a lot more votes cast. Brian Gain, I didn't include it here, but Brian Gain of the Bills, Saquon Joe of the Broncos, and Jim Lipford of the Texans all have 15 votes. And then Darren Muji of the Broncos, who I think it was just named their DPP in this offseason, and Joe Shane, the AGM for the Bills, highly regarded, both have 14. So it's anybody's race as far as who's going to win this thing. As far as the top 10, I think in the AFC, we're starting to look and see where that top 10 is going to be. In the NFC, there's still a lot of votes to be cast, and that next 5 is really, it's really pretty tight and pretty close. So as we kind of pull into that final stretch with one more week of voting, we'll send out the votes, the ballot this Friday one more time, and then we'll announce the winners the following Friday wrap, which will be, I believe, on the 1st. and we'll see where we all land. It's been a really interesting process. It's been really good participation. I've been really pleased by that. It's been pretty exciting to see how people have kind of plugged into this. And I guess anytime you have a chance to look and, I don't know, decide who the best people are in your industry, especially one that is as overlooked as scouting is, I guess it's kind of fun and it's an opportunity. And so we've had a lot of fun kind of trying to pull it together. And, as we get down to that last stretch, and we'll see what happens and kind of where everything lands.
Now, you're doing a great job. That's an incredible look inside the scouting community. It's so cool to see because, some of them are guys that you hear pretty frequently, and some of them really don't get the credit they deserve. And so we continue to look forward to that. And if the Prez is watching, Zach Patrol, you're out there, we got to do an article on this, man. Just so much cool content. And you'll see Samantha behind the scenes. Neil, I tell people all the time, I finally mastered how to be in 2 places at once. And once I master how to be in 3 spots at once, we're really going to be off to the races. But you mentioned the Friday wrap. Let's get into it. What are we going to see this week? I think you've kind of took a deep dive into some of these preseason mock drafts. What did you unearth here?
Well, we look at 7 draft services periodically through the draft cycle, and we always try to do that towards late September. That's what we'll do this week. We'll look at, again, these are leaders, the people, kind of the leaders in the draft industry, and we'll look at their mock drafts. We'll look at who's kind of climbing. We took our first look the weekend after the 2020 draft, and we kind of took the temperature of the entire draft class. I believe we had 50 or 60 players that got at least 1 vote to be in the first round. We'll see if those 60 are still hanging tough. There'll be a lot that will fall out of the list. There'll be some that'll rise in. There's always a quarterback who kind of comes out of nowhere. We've seen that in the last 3 drafts. This year, who's that quarterback? It's probably Matt Corral to some degree. Corral is a little bit of an outlier. He's not the same as what we've seen the last 3 years, where there was a guy who really wasn't on anyone's first or second day board and slid in and came in, was either drafted first or second in the draft. I mean, if Corral winds up being that it guy and becomes, one of the first quarterbacks drafted, maybe even the first pick overall, he's not going to come as far behind, I think, as certainly what we saw with some of the quarterbacks, with the Joe Burrows and the Zach Wilsons that we've seen in the last few years. So, but at the same time, I mean, he's certainly a guy that's got a head of steam. He's got a lot of momentum. There are other quarterbacks out there, I think, that are kind of similar, have a similar trajectory. Strong is one. There's a number of them out there. So we'll kind of see what the numbers say, what the experts say, and we'll have that in the Friday wrap. It's always just kind of a fun look at, it's mock drafts. It's not actually what the scouts are saying, but it's still kind of fun to look at and kind of give you an idea of the temperature of things, the way the winds are blowing.
Yeah, always a good exercise. And Brennan Armstrong from Virginia, I would probably throw into that category as well. Neil Stratton, CEO and founder of InsideTheLeague.com, joining us here on The State of Football, part of the Fan Nation Network on Sports Illustrated. Doing a great job covering the scouting community, doing a great job taking us inside the mock draft community, and then the agent community, which Neil does better than anybody out there. And so surprised but not, right? You said that there's 10 agents now. You did the agent standings. There's 10 agents or agencies with at least 10 clients. I'm doing the mathematics here. I'm not a math major, Neil, but 10 times 147 is 1470. There's only 1696 playing in the league. So that would leave about 200 or so players left over for the other 800 or so agents. Is that accurate?
It's well, when you figure in the practice squatters, there's a few more players, but at the same time, yes, it's a top-heavy league. We know that the top agents tend to have all the top clients. They have the most clients. That's been true for a long time. 147 agents that have at least 10. Before cuts, there were a few more than that. That number was a little bigger, but every year, obviously, you're going to see the number shrink a little bit. As far as the top 10, no changes in the top 3. Drew Rosenhaus has stayed. I think he's polled as the number 1 agent for per total clients every month that we've done this for the last 3 or 4 years. Right after that is Jimmy Sexton with CAA, and then Joel Siegel with Sport 5. And then the order kind of changes. Right now, the top 5 to round that out is David Cantor of DEC Management and David Mulligett of Athletes First. But we kind of break it down by the tops, and then we have the ones that have 30 and the ones that have 20, and then of course the ones that have 10 and thereabouts. And so it's a pretty diverse list. There's a lot of names on there, a lot of different agencies, but at the end of the day, you more or less see the same agencies and the same agents most months, because the way the system's set up right now, the strong tend to get stronger, the rich tend to get richer, and they tend to stay where they are unless something drastic happens. And given the finances of the game, the way that the game cycles through right now, there's not a lot of changes. Now, as we look at NIL and how that factors into things, maybe we'll have a little bit more turbulence as we go forward. But right now, it's still pretty stable and pretty standard.
Yeah, and you mentioned Drew Rosenhaus taking the top spot there once again. Do you know offhand how many clients does Drew actually have nowadays, Neil?
Drew typically is in the 90s. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure exactly what he has right now.
That's pretty
There's been times when he's told that, he's had around 100. So, Drew has been prolific for a long time, and I think there are very few times that Drew turns anyone away. He's also one of those guys that typically will add clients as well, veteran clients. Right now, he's at 106. He's the only agent with more than 100 clients right now. Jimmy Sexton's at 74, Joel Stegel's at 72, and then you kind of see a drop where David Cantor's got 53 and David Mulligett at 49. So, Drew has more than twice as many as the number 5 agent right now. So, it just gives you an idea of kind of how prolific he is.
Big time stuff. I would note that Jimmy Sexton, though, probably has the most coaching clients on that list, if I had to guess.
No question.
Right,
Jimmy, if we did a coach poll like that, Jimmy would be beyond the horizon. There's no comparison, especially quality of clients as well as total number of clients.
All right, we're talking to Neil Stratton, CEO and founder of InsideTheLeague.com. Make sure you check it out. The Friday Wrap is coming out tomorrow, 7 p.m. You can go to succeedinfootballblog.com with the latest and the greatest there. And then also Amazon, go get his 2 books, Moving the Chains, if you want a inside look into the NFL draft process, a step-by-step guide, whether you're a player, a parent, a new agent. Moving the Chains is an invaluable resource. And then, of course, Scout Speak, which I require all my staff to read. And usually they read it twice, but I like to call it Tales from the Scouting Trails, just a unique perspective inside the life of NFL general managers, scouts on the road, evaluators, executives, decision makers, just a lot of great stuff. Anything else, Neil, that you want to plug here before you go? What else you got cooking?
I think right now that's pretty much it, man. Follow us on Twitter at Inside the League. Obviously, the Friday Wrap, you can register for it there. Look for our blog, Succeed in Football. And the mothership always coming up with new content every day. As always, you do a great job of recapping it, Rick, and we appreciate you to help us tell the story of ITL.
Absolutely. We'll do it again next Thursday. That's Neil Stratton, again, friend, familia, occasionally a fill-in co-host here on the State of Football, part of the Fan Nation Network on Sports Illustrated. And if you've been tuned in since last season, this is our 296th show. Can you believe it, everybody? We've only been around for 13 months. Wow. So this is season 2, episode 37, part 296. And this past month, we've been doing our overtime segment, as many of you know who tune in each and every day. Big shout out to all our chat room people and Lorenz Lineweber. Big Law, good to see you, shaking it up. Did you get my email, Big Law? Tom Goodhines out there, with the breaking news that Reuben Foster will be joining the Hub Football Camp next week. Brian Beasley, we see you, brother. So a lot of big things going, but none bigger than Conference 1, which is launching October 5th. Make sure you check us out, cf1.gg. And I have assumed the commissioner role for Conference 1. It's going to be the premier destination for competitive collegiate esports. We've got a slew of announcements coming your way, in fact, all next week. Kennesaw State coordinator did a great job yesterday on the show for overtime. We had the Gamers on. That clip is circulating over on the CF1 Twitter handle. We have Fit Gamer back here in just a second. Before we get to our next guest, Mike Anderson, we're going to show you a little promo about the Fit Gamer app that's coming out very shortly. We'll be right back.
At Fit Gamer, we implement a program that we've developed over decades of training, studying, and teaching sports science, and years of working with professional, traditional, and esport athletes. The scheduling and cadence of workouts, yoga, meditation, mental conditioning, nutrition, sleep, and lifestyle activities are based on what we have done with various teams and individuals since 2018. We respect effort. We respect intensity. At Fit Gamer, what is important is progress and improvement. The Fit Gamer workouts are designed specifically for cognitive esport athletes, and we understand the pain points of gamers and the need to physically maintain the body and stimulate the brain in order to achieve optimal in-game performance. It is our mission to optimize gaming performance by maximizing human potential, and Fit Gamer helps us achieve this goal. Come join us.
Welcome back. It's the State of Football, Season 2, Episode 37, Part 296 edition. Rick Saratella here with you today. It's our overtime segment. It's the commish checking in from Conference 1. Make sure you check us out, cf1.gg. We're so pumped up and excited to bring you our season kickoff on October 5th, coming right around the corner. And one of our good friends and soon-to-be affiliates will have an announcement soon, is the great folks at Fit Gamer. Big shout-out to Howard Beach and Kristen and Landon joining us over the last several weeks. But today, we've got a new guest for you. He is Mike Anderson, one of the co-founders of Fit Gamer. There he is, checking in with us here on the overtime segment, the State of Football, part of the Fan Nation Network, on Sports Illustrated, as we bring you exclusive esports coverage on the Sports Illustrated platform. Good morning, Mike. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Rick. Thanks for having me. Hi, Sam, back there. Great to follow up such cool things going on in the sport of football. It's cool to be here. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, a lot of great things going on in the world of football, in the world of esports. You know, speaking to Landon over the last couple of weeks, there's a lot of common denominators in terms of, you know, mental and physical preparation, having that sharpness, having that preparation, and making sure you're taking care of both your mind and body off the field as well as on the field. And so I see that Fit Gamer is really kind of setting the standard in terms of the esports side and the esports community, in terms of what you guys are bringing to the table, the physical maintenance side, shall we speak. And you have the great app that's on its way and going to be available to Conference 1 participants. But tell us a little bit about the app. Where are we with the launch process? And take us behind the scenes, if you will, with what you're hoping to achieve with the launch.
Cool. Thanks, Rick. Yeah. One of the great things is that the Conference 1 launch is October 5th, followed up the next day, October 6th, is the launch of the app for Fit Gamer. So that's pretty cool. It's a great lineup for you. Right. Our Fit Gamer app has essentially three different things. Gamers of all types, right? From the professional to the recreational gamer, can track everything going on with respect to what we at Fit Gamer call the 5 pillars of health. I'll get into that in just a second, but this idea that we have the ability to track metrics. So daily, you can, as a gamer, put into the app what you're doing in physical maintenance, right? What you're doing for your workouts, how your physical, training is going. You've had Landon on over the past couple weeks. You can track what's going on with respect to mental conditioning, right? You can track what you're doing outside of esports, right? The lifestyle part. What are you doing in terms of hobbies, in terms of keeping up day to day on those things that you're passionate about outside the realm of esports? And then the other two areas that we cover in the app are obviously important with respect to not just mental and physical health, but also how you play the game. And that's with how are you sleeping? How are you setting up that recovery time overnight? And then finally, with respect to nutrition, there you go. You got the pillars up there. What are you putting into your body to fuel yourself and to, get better, not just at the game, but get better at life? So there's that metric activity tracking section. The other part of the activity tracking session is the gaming performance. How are you getting ready for your daily gaming activities, and then how did that preparation set you up for success in the day? All of that is packed into the app, and at the end of the day, you go into the app, you put in some of the numbers, and then from day to day, you're going to track essentially your fit gamer score. How are you bettering yourself to become better at the game? So that's the metric area. The second part of that is the training platform, right? We're implementing this module where we're bringing to essentially the world in a large scale what we're doing with professional teams on the ground. Well, definitely, I want to get into that with you as well, right? So you can train, and then what we're bringing to you on the app, you can actually do it on your own. You can do it with, like if you're part of Conference One, if you're a gamer at the university level, you and the athletes, within your team can train these different areas. And then the cool thing that we're adding to this is the third section, which is the coach's dashboard. So it's a portal for coaches and managers to see what's going on within their team. So important that people that are running an esport team knows what's going on with their individual athletes across that platform. So those are three things that you can look forward to in the Fit Gamer app.
No, this is so cool because I'm so excited to empower our collegiate schools and programs with the ability to track and monitor and improve, right? It's all about, in any competitive sport, it's all about getting an edge,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are creating. And it's the ultimate all-in-one training module. In fact, Mike, I hate to tell you, I'm going to be registering for the Fit Gamer app just because my mental and my physical frame, Samantha behind the scenes, you may or may not know, is my better half. She can tell you I need a lot of help in those departments. And so the Fit Gamer app can get you on track. But more importantly, for the members of Conference One, we're going to empower all the participating programs, schools, and universities to have access to the Fit Gamer app, and it's going to be such a useful tool. And you will see the schools that do sign up for this are going to have an edge. And I know working with Cloud9, you mentioned some of the professional teams. By the way, I call Mike Mr. International. He's been all over the place. I see Thailand, Sweden, Compton, California. What a diverse background you have here. And we'll get into some of that stuff too.
Sure.
Before we get into the background, but talk about Cloud9, obviously working with Jack Etienne, enabling to do a kind of proof of concept with some of the teams that have had success using Fit Gamer.
Yeah, well, my entrance into the esports world was pretty dramatic in the fact that, the first team that I ever worked with is the North American LCS team of League of Legends Cloud9, right? Like, what an introduction to the space. And it's such an honor to be able to work with an amazing organization that has this cultural focus of being good at everything, right? It's one thing to just completely focus and hone in on one single aspect of life, and it's important, right? We know that football players are totally immersed in that world. It doesn't matter what traditional sport you're talking about, ranging from swimming to gymnastics to anything. Olympic athletes, right? They invest the time, the energy into their training, their recovery, and esport athletes are no different, right? It's just that it tends to be, like Landon talked about over the past couple of weeks, that gamers tend not to get away from at all what's going on in the game. They're either playing, they're streaming, they're doing VOD review, they're into solo queue. Their life is completely enmeshed in the esport world. So when I first started working with Cloud9, it was the introduction to really the best of the best in North America. And that was amazing to see that their training day is scheduled out from the moment they wake up until the moment that they go to bed. And the cool thing, the opportunity that I've had is to help work within this culture, to bring the Fit Gamer platform and the organization that we have within the 5 pillars to an organization, Cloud9, that already has this structure in place. It's just it's an incredible place to work.
No, big shout out. I mean, what Fit Gamer is providing in the marketplace is something that, if we're being honest, I mean, it's been happening in the NFL for years now, tracking your heart rate, tracking your sleep, tracking your diet. And, you know, it's, I think, even more important in the esports world because, to your point, you're even immersed more so in front of a computer, right? And if you're a collegiate player or an aspiring professional gamer, you're probably training, you're probably sleeping, breathing, and eating, you know, video competition. And so it's so critical to have this balance. And, you know, you guys have already established the proof of concept. And so now it's going to trickle in from the professional level into the collegiate level.
Right.
And we're already talking to high school and youth level esport organizations as this industry continues to grow. Mike Anderson here on the State of Football, part of the Fan Nation Network on Sports Illustrated Overtime with Rick Saratella, one of the co-founders here at Fit Gamer. And we talked about your background a little bit. Mike, I see you've been well-traveled all over the globe, really. And so take us through some of your background experiences and some of your personal accomplishments and places you've been to, and tell the people at home a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, yeah, really, I've just been following my passion. You know, I didn't know where it would all lead. But like you, we are some of the few people in the world that are using our college educations, at least with respect to like what we're doing right now. And I didn't always know that. You know, I went to Pepperdine University, and I was an undergrad in sports science. At that school, they call it sports medicine. And so, you know, I went with my passion, which was just sports and movement and the sciences, really. And I followed that passion, and it took me a lot of different directions. But the common theme among everything that I've done over the past, 30 years since I've graduated from college is it tends to lean towards the coaching and the teaching world. And that coaching teaching environment, currently, so I'm a coach of my kids' AYSO teams, right? I have 7-year-old twins. And I aspire maybe to be the commissioner of AYSO at some point, just like you're the commish of Conference One. But I've been all over the map in terms of the areas of focus and the ages with which I've worked, right? I've taught elementary school. Shout out to Compton, California. I was an elementary school teacher in Compton. And what led me there was an experience being a teacher in Southeast Asia as a Peace Corps volunteer. Right. So right out of college, I got a degree from Boston University, a master's in public health, specifically focused in health services in developing countries. So I worked for 2 years in Thailand, really with in health and nutrition in elementary schools. So I really got a love for working with teachers and kids and presenting you know, lessons in being physically healthy, some physical education rolled in there as well. And then over the years, I've worked with various organizations in things like experiential learning. So at some point, I went back to school and got a graduate degree in experiential education. That was in Sweden. And they have this focus in Sweden that's basically like get outside, like be outside as much as you possibly can. And so my love for the outdoors, my love for sport, for movement, for teaching, for coaching is all compiled into this idea of I want people to get up and move, right? I want to bring to the world, or I've been bringing to the world this idea that if you move, other things happen, right? This idea that change equals change. It's a pretty easy concept. I write it up on the chalkboard like this. It's just delta equals delta. The opposite of that, if there's no change, there's no change. And the way I present change in people's lives is by just getting them out of the chair and starting to move. And it all happens from there. So within Fit Gamer, we have 5 pillars, and we have experts that present on the 5 pillars. And my focus is in the physical movement realm. And I can delve into any area of life through movement. And that's what I can present, I think, to the world. And that's why we've been successful. That's why we've shown results with Cloud9, in that when gamers get up out of the chair, it's almost like I want you to get up and do like these quick drills that we do. I'm going to do one right now. It's going to freak you out a little bit, but I'm just going to swing my legs back and forth, right? Can you stand up, Rick? Do you have space there?
Let's see did I wear pants today?
Yeah, all I'm doing is this quick drill. I'm just swinging one of my legs back and forth.
Yeah, we could do that. We got
and
this.
getting this idea that,
Yeah, baby.
you've been sitting down for over an hour. Imagine what gamers go through day after day of
Should
gaming.
I just start doing the show this way now?
Just start doing the show this way.
I'll just be like, yo, I'm over here now.
What I prescribe to people is that if you're sitting down for an hour, you need to do at least 2 minutes of quick drills, like anything that you're doing to get yourself physically moving, because when the body's moving, there you go, the squats.
Hey,
that is a core of our program.
Hey.
Exactly. So when the body's moving, the mind is moving. And when the mind is moving, that's when the creative juices are flowing. That's when you come up with solutions to problems that previously escaped you, right? So it's through movement that I present to the players at Cloud9, League of Legends, Valorant, Overwatch, a bunch of different games. This idea that when movement happens, things happen in life. It's that change brings about change. And so, being that we are results oriented, we've been tracking these players over time, and they get better in the gym. And what we know is that this has been translating over to better on the field, right? And that field is in front of the console within the game. So better in life, better in the game, and vice versa. So hopefully that drew in some of my background with what we're doing with the teams.
Yeah, no, man, we brought it full circle there. And those of you who are out there on the Jersey Shore early in the morning, you might catch me on the beach doing some of these exercises now. And to your point, Mike, when I do get out there and exercise physically, I always have a sharper frame of mind. That's some real talk, no doubt about it. So
yeah.
Winding down here on the overtime segment, I see here you've got some athletic accomplishments in your background as well.
What do you know?
Well, we do have something in common, although it's significantly different.
Okay.
We've both crossed the finish line of the Boston Marathon.
All right.
You, my friend, have done it under 3 hours, I think, on multiple occasions. Me and my buddy, we just snuck on the final mile of the Boston and pretended we ran the whole thing. But
finished up the last 126 of the race. That's
cool. So you did the 26 miles in 3 hours. I did the final mile maybe in 3 hours. But when's the last time you ran the marathon?
Oh, that's been a while. I got a Facebook sort of history blast. I think 10 years ago was the last time I did it.
Very cool.
So it's been a while.
And also I know that you do have some football background. In fact, you made the game-sealing interception back in the day with the high school state championship, I see.
Exactly, man. That you don't know what happened to the game leading up to that. I was getting burned by this receiver, and then finally they threw up a ball that I was able to intercept in the end zone. Luckily that helped turn the game around.
Yeah, it's not always how you start necessarily, but it's how you finish. Precisely. And Mike Anderson here finishing strong with the emphasis on physical maintenance and Fit Gamer. Make sure you check out the website at Fit Gamer. Is it .com or .gg, Samantha?
.gg.
.gg, of course it is. Mm-hmm. And so, Mike, I did not ask you where you're checking in from this morning.
We are here in, I would say, we have corporate headquarters all over. Landon's corporate headquarters is up in Canada. We're tuning in here from Malibu, California.
Oh, look at you. Malibu. Okay.
There we go. Well, so, yeah, I finished up at Pepperdine as a student, and why would you leave?
It's hard to leave, yes. I've been getting out to California quite often, in fact. with our good friends at Hub Football. I'll be out in LA in October. You know, I dabble. I go to San Diego, LA a lot for business and try to sneak in some pleasure where we can. So that being said, you know, the Italian in me always comes out, Mike. You've been this well-traveled entrepreneur across the globe, Sweden, Thailand, Cali. One meal, putting you on the spot, final supper, you get to choose one meal anywhere in the world. Where are you bringing me to? What are we putting on the table?
Oh man,
here?
yeah, we're going to northern Thailand. You know, for some northern Thai curry up on the border of Laos with maybe a little bit of sticky rice.
All right, I like that kind of party. I know Samantha's drooling over here with that one. So, all right, Mike. Well, I think we're gonna have you back here maybe next week.
Yeah,
We're
so much
counting
more
you
to
down.
talk about.
Yeah, so much more to get into, and great, exciting news. October 5th, the launch of Conference 1. October 6th, the launch of Fit Gamer app. Can they get on the waiting list early? Can they sign up for the mailing list, Mike? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know about a mailing list, but we will be in the App Store for those of you on that platform, and Google Play for anyone that's on Android. October 6th, we'll be there. You can check in with, you know, we have a landing page at our website that you can put your contact information if you want us to get back to you. That works as well.
Yeah, great stuff. And I will tell you, it is really
You got
it's
it.
not easy. It's not easy producing an app. So this has been a lot of years in the making, finally coming to the forefront. So make sure you get on it. There you have it on the website, fitgamer.gg, for all the latest and greatest. Mike, we can't thank you enough for spending some time checking in on the West Coast, all the way out in Cali. I know it's early over there, so get your Wheaties on, man. We got to keep our diet and our mind and physicality right over here.
That's right. Cool.
All right, so that's Mike Anderson, one of the co-founders of Fit Gamer here on the State of Football, part of the Fan Nation Network on Sports Illustrated, and we're going overtime almost every day here. We had Kennesaw State coordinator yesterday. We had the Gamers on. Tomorrow we're going to have Emmanuel Acho on for overtime. Lorenz Lineweber will be doing the Football Friday. We also have brand new edition. Is he coming on with the live rendition of the new Alabama fight song? Stay on the lookout for that. Of course, Saturday is going to be the Tailgate Show hosted by Big Law. And I'll be back. I didn't get the predictions in. Can we do the Fit Gamer promo? I'll come back with my football predictions real quick.
At Fit Gamer, we implement a program that we've developed over decades of training, studying, and teaching sports science, and years of working with professional, traditional, and esport athletes. The scheduling and cadence of workouts, yoga, meditation, mental conditioning, nutrition, sleep, and lifestyle activities are based on what we have done with various teams and individuals since 2018. We respect effort. We respect intensity. At Fit Gamer, what is important is progress and improvement. The Fit Gamer workouts are designed specifically for cognitive esport athletes, and we understand the pain points of gamers and the need to physically maintain the body and stimulate the brain in order to achieve optimal in-game performance. It is our mission to optimize gaming performance by maximizing human potential, and Fit Gamer helps us achieve this goal. Come join us.
How has Fit Gamer changed and impacted Cloud9? I mean, honestly,
Cloud9, North America's best international team, are headed back to Worlds.
the difference between the teams that actually win or lose are the teams that are going to actually have the stamina and still have like a sharp mind through that event. Prior to having Fit Gamer's exercise routines that we've been doing, my players around Game 5 would get tired and lose. What's happened with the training that we've been doing, we are now, when we get to this Game 5 situations, we're the team on stage that has energy, we're the team on stage actually is sharp, and we're the team that's raising the trophies. FitGamer app helps you not only track on your everyday workouts, but we travel a lot. So while we're traveling, we can kind of pinpoint how our players are doing, how our managers are doing. They can report what their sleep is like, they can report the nutrition, and it gives us the ability to catch patterns that are not good early and address them and fix them. And our training routines, training up on both, has resulted in us lifting trophies at the end of the day. And for me, that's what actually matters.
You can't become an agent without passing the exam. We can help. We introduced our first practice test in 2012. Since then, we've added a study guide and a second exam, and we've helped hundreds pass a test that 55% fail. Our clients succeed at a rate 25% higher than others. For the cost of a plane ticket, you can buy our guide and take both our exams multiple times. Check us out.
All right, back at it again. Rick Saratella here on the State of Football. I'm doing my picks on the Superfly for you. I want to get on the record here with a few games just so we have it in the books. And I don't have a lot, but I've got a couple. And so here's what we're going to do. NCAA, I'm going Virginia -4 over Wake Forest. Army -8.5 over Miami, Ohio. That's a best bet. Rutgers +20 over Michigan. I've got Rutgers to win outright, but I'm going to take the 20 points. That's a best bet. NFL tonight, Panthers -8 on Thursday Night Football. Cardinals, best bet, doubling down, getting money back, -7. Best bet, Cardinals. And the Seahawks -1.5 over the Vikings. Those are your plays of the week. We'll see you Monday, everybody.